Looks like we are live. As usual. What's going on? Hello, everybody. Saturday. I'm a little late this week on the episode, but we're going to have back-to-back episodes. So we're on episode 69 of Beyond the Beats. Let's go. Your boy Scott Jacks, repping for Swissbeatbox, right here live and direct. And thank you guys for joining us today. I'm seeing the live streams up and popping. People are excited to go and learn more about you, my friend. And I'm very excited as well because, as I told you just before we started, you actually been the most difficult person to go and find stuff on the internet about, which is good for you in some ways, bad for me. But I'll be learning a lot about you as a person and just your journey when it comes to beatboxing. So, yeah, we're going to go and find some stuff out together. Once again, live stream. Put a thumbs up on the video. If you have any questions throughout this, go ahead and put them in the comments. And the big man, Heidfeld, Olea, who's running the stream, big ups to him. We'll go through and find them. So, once again, ladies and gentlemen, episode 69. I don't even know very much at all. I've been trying. I tried my best, but we're going to be talking with a gentleman who's repping in the kickback right now. You've seen him in the online world champs. When it comes to looping, he's just been smashing it. So, right off the bat, too, it's hilarious that my camera decides to go in lag exactly this every single time. So, put that off, put that on, redo this introduction. We're not stopping the video or changing it up. We're going to see if we can go have that. So, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you guys are having a good day. I'm having a good day. We're off to a good start. Get a leggy camera. But once again, representing for United States of America as well as Team USA with an EH. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Josh O.
Hello, hello.
What's up, brother? How you doing?
I'm doing well. I'm really glad to be here. Gonna be a fun day, I'm sure.
Yeah, it's gonna be a good time. I'm excited, as I said, to learn more about you because it's just interesting. Again, most people my age, there's a history of stuff I could look through, and you're relatively new to the game, only getting your loop station in 2018, you say. So to go and see that you've already progressed so far in 3 years' times or less than 3 years, I'm just looking forward to seeing what you bring next, especially for the kickback battle and future battles that are going to be out there. So yeah, I think it's going to be a good day. I'm just going to go and ask you some questions, find out more about you. And
Sure.
You did say one place, I'm not sure, it was some live stream, some sort of thing where you're playing a game, Jackpots or something like that. And you said you're not a good button pusher. Well, that's a lie.
Oh.
That's as deep as I can go and dig, as much as I can find. So we're trying out here. We're trying out here.
Yeah. Hey, you got something.
Where are you located out of right now? You representing? Let me guess. I thought it was Florida, but I'm not exactly sure. I know it's down in the States somewhere.
Yeah, I'm here down in the southeastern in Florida.
All right, so 2 for 2. We're doing okay. That's all I got here.
There you go.
But ladies and gentlemen, right here, Beyond the Beats with Josh O, and let's just get into it. So, yeah, again, put your questions in the comments section. We'll go through it. But I want to start off right off the bat. Things that I saw in the videos where you broke down Keep It Singing. You were talking about enjoying ninths, and you seemed to be able to go and get all the notes. So before you got into Loopstation, before you got into beatboxing, seemingly you have a lot of musical knowledge and possibly training. So could you just kind of tell me your story about how you got into music first and foremost and classically trained, and just where you are at in that? Because just listening to you break down on your YouTube channel, which everyone should subscribe to, but you seemingly have like a lot of musical knowledge. So before we even get into beatboxing or looping, just in general, how did you get into music, and where are you sitting at that right now study-wise?
Yeah, so yeah, at the beginning, I do come from a musical family. My dad, he sings, he plays the piano. My mom is also a singer. So basically, I always grew up around music. And it was around, they started me in like piano lessons, singing lessons. Like they started me young. I was one of like those kids. It was it was a shout out to Miss Vanessa. She was a family friend at a church we went to. She taught me to play piano. I was classically trained, as you said, piano and singing for around 13 years. So that's how I got my foundation for music. As far as like you mentioned like ninths and stuff with like jazz, basically. I think I pretty much discovered that on my own. Like my parents never really listened to jazz, and I didn't really know anyone that listened to jazz either. I think maybe just it popped up into my Spotify Discover Weekly somehow, and then I just fell in love with just these different chords and like the way they progress and like dissonance and stuff like that. So yeah, that's how that came to be.
Got that Bobby McFerrin upbringing with two musical parents and being able to go and give you lessons on singing. That's very cool, man. And 13 years, do you still train piano? And obviously, I saw in the same video where you broke down and said with Brez, with that little competition where you broke down his song and won that, you were saying gave you an opportunity to go and bring in your keyboard into it and use some patterns into that. So is this something that you still keep up on, still train piano, still obviously singing when it comes to looping, but do you still train yourself musically and perform it outside of the beatbox world?
I don't take lessons anymore. I do play piano occasionally. I do sing occasionally. More so, I guess more so as a hobby. Like I don't really do it anywhere else. Maybe if they want me to like play at church or something, maybe I'll do that. But otherwise, it's not really something I've really pursued lately, I guess.
Well, you're a busy man when it comes to looping, especially. So you've had a good run of 2021 so far and 2020. And again, the first videos that I see that are out there is something that you put out of Fly Me to the Moon, where you're doing it at a local talent show, and great response. Good piece. It's one thing that you've said that, that you as well as had that response to them, but that you said early on that Fly Me to the Moon was a piece that you really actually still enjoyed to listen back to, even though you change a few things about it, but you're happy with the piece as a whole. So 2018, you get a loop station. Before that, when did beatboxing come into your world? What was your first interaction with it? Where did you first see it, hear it, and what drew you to it? What just made you interested in pursuing it?
Right. So let's see. I discovered beatboxing around 2011. For context, I did not grow up with cable, so I was forced to watch like the kids' educational shows that were already on the TV.
Same here.
One
Got
of the
you.
yeah, one of these shows was a show called The Electric Company, and in that show there was a beatboxer played by Chris Sullivan, or Shockwave, if anyone knows who he is. And there was an episode where he taught a group of kids how to beatbox, just like a simple boots and cuts beat. And when I saw this episode, I was like, this is the greatest thing I've ever heard. I need to learn more about this. So, basically for the next few years, I just kind of practiced my and all my family would be like, oh, that's so good, Joshua. And I mean, that got me going. It gave me, inspiration. That's how I got introduced to beatboxing, or like vocal percussion in general, I guess. With like competitive beatboxing and like the more advanced beatboxing sounds, I want to say it was around 2015. I am getting word that my camera died.
So it's not just me, not just me. We're just we're gonna go and get, if you could stop your camera and bring it back up so we can see your lovely face as you do that.
Hello, am I back? By any chance?
We'll see in 1 second here. It looks like you're back on live and direct. All right.
Back on? All right.
Sometimes the internet plays tricks on us, ladies and gentlemen. But anyways, so you say your introduction is Shockwave on Electric Company, which is huge. Dope to go and actually make that as your first intro. And then your competitive seeing of advanced beatboxing came in where? You were in the middle of that.
Right. It was 2015. I think it was like the 2015 World Champs, like those videos. I think it was like the final between LM and Napalm. That was like one of the first videos I ever saw. And then they were doing all these like throw bass and lip rolls. I was like, whoa, that's way more advanced than boots and cuts. But where can I learn that? And then from there, I guess I watched like YouTube tutorials on like all these different sounds. I watched like Swissbeatbox videos, like the shout outs. And that's how I got into seeing like the online beatboxing, stuff like that.
And as you start producing sounds yourself and being able to go through the tutorials, have that come into your life, can you explain it also? When was your first experience seeing a loop station specifically?
That's a good question. I want to say it was 2016, 17. It was either like the MB14 versus Sorrow, or I think it was like Thorson versus MB14. I think that was the first video I saw. And I saw them using the loop station, and I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. Like they're using a machine to just loop their sounds. And I think I was really interested in that because another backstory with that, I loved like arranging like little loops or like songs on my excuse me, on my iPod Touch on GarageBand. So like the idea of like, you know, layering things was like already familiar to me. But then I saw it being applied to like beatboxing and using your voice. I think something about that just really resonated with me. I think from there is when I really found an interest in loop station.
And it took you 2 years after seeing that to get your hands on a loop station, or did you
right? Yeah.
Did you have previous? Did you have the RC50 or the RC? Did you have previous models of it, or did you just go right for the RC505?
No, I just went for right for the 505. I figured if I wanted to compete in loop station battles, I would need that device, the standard, I guess.
Absolutely, and again, you've obviously done quite well with it, and you've had opportunities where you get top 4 in the online world champs 2020 when it went down. And I want to know too, before that, because kind of this whole time, obviously certain situations around the world where we don't have any battles necessarily live, and a lot of it's based online. Have you been to events before? Have you met other beatboxers? Have you jammed, had sessions, loop station or not, in person?
I actually have not. I did not, I never had any like beatboxing friends growing up, or like basically I was the only one in my area, or like just in general, that was interested in beatboxing. And yeah, like I never went to live events. I mean, I guess I was like too young. I didn't want to like ask my parents to go anywhere, I guess. Yeah, I actually the only local, I only had maybe like one friend in high school that was interested in beatboxing, but other than that, it's pretty much just been me.
Well, then I'm very much looking forward rather to your first interaction with beatboxers, because you've made a name for yourself in the time that you've started putting stuff out from 2020 with your first video of Fly Me to the Moon. And then that's the first thing I could find. And I thoroughly searched. I did my darndest to go and try to find stuff, but it's either buried deep, and that is a good thing for you to go and keep your social life private and all that stuff if you don't so choose to. But I made my job hard, And it's your first battle too. I couldn't even find. Did you do online battles on like a Discord channel and stuff before you got to the online world champs? Because it seemingly was the first thing that you went into, and your first battle. Messiah, and you take a W. You go up against Biscuit, who obviously takes the first place. Big shouts to Biscuit, by the way.
Big
and
shout
you end
out.
up in the small finals with Enhance, and you take 4th place home. So again, that's a solid first run, if I do say so. And was that your first experience in showcasing to the beatbox world and battling, or were you on, a TeamSpeak server, Discord server before that?
Yeah, actually, the online worlds was my very first battle, my very first, yeah, like you said, showcase to like the beatboxing world. Like I actually only joined a Discord server, like the beatbox community Discord server and like the clip server. I only joined those like maybe a month before the I released my wild card. Like before that, I was pretty much just looping on my own. So like I had no like reference or like anyone to ask about like would this sound good in like a beatbox battle scenario. So I was also kind of on my own
And
at that point.
when you first get into that and start jumping onto the servers, again, talent shines through, and you must have, you know, in these places where open jam sessions happen and all these such, where you can show what you have essentially and get feedback on it. Um, Friends and family will say certain things, they're gonna go and encourage you, obviously. But how was it for you to jump into that community in the online world and get feedback from your peers and people that also loop and also beatbox? And what was that feeling like to go and be like, even though it's over online, as a lot of stuff is currently, how was it for you to go and find peers and people that also beatbox, also loop, and get their feedback on stuff that you were working on by yourself, as you said?
Yeah, honestly, the whole experience has been awesome because, like I said, I was on my own. And then when I actually joined Discord and I met and talked with other beatboxers, loopers, it was like this whole new world was just open to me. And I just love to be there, I guess. It was just something new and it was something I really liked.
Is there people that you clicked up with within that first month before you put out your wild card that you could get feedback on, and people that would say right off the bat you're just obviously online again but connected with on that level of being able to go and I appreciate what they do, they appreciate what you do, and be able to go and get that feedback back and forth?
I think one of the first people I talked to, I know MH was one of the first people I talked to. Um, Other than that, some people I'll list Dom Tapper, uh, Guru. I think I talked to Enhance a little bit before. Um, yeah, there's actually yes, I can't really remember right off the top of my head, but there were like a lot of people I think that were willing to talk to me and give me feedback.
And with again, a fresh face, a fresh sound, somebody that they hadn't heard of comes out of nowhere and gets fourth in the online world champs type of thing out of nowhere. John Cena did, but like, could you tell me how was the feedback when you first put something out, the first actual video that would have been in that online world competition, world championship rather, when it came to your wild card and seeing the feedback?
Oh yeah, yeah. So when I first released like the wild card for the online worlds, and I remember I posted it at like 5 p.m. It was like dinner time, so maybe not a lot of people would be on at the moment. I maybe got like 2 views in the first hour. So I was like, okay, maybe I'll just sleep on it. Maybe some people will comment, "Oh, cool job, bro," or something. Um, and then the next morning, I actually woke up to like all this feedback, even people like Frosty, uh like Indicator, like names that like I've seen that were popular like at that time were commenting and they were like, "Wow, dude, this is really good." And hearing that from people in the beatbox community, not just like peers or family that are just trying to support what I do, I think that was like really motivating for me. Like it was really good to hear that at the time.
100%. And that's a story I often heard on when I ask people about it here on Beyond the Beats, and also my own personal experience. It's just that feeling of someone that you have seen, they know what they're talking about, but them recognizing what you do and actually appreciating it rather, and It's like Michael Jordan giving a little tap on the shoulder to a kid, and be like, "Nice jump shot, kid." You know, like certain people would have that level and effect on you. And it's funny too in the chat. I can go and see that MH says, "Oh my God, I remember typing to you. Wow, nice online world beatbox championship wildcard." So he is watching here. He might be watching you too, because it's funny. Years go on now. Now that you're in the kickback, you and him got to face off first round. It's gonna be
right. Oh man, I actually didn't think of that. Yeah, this. Oh no.
from one of the first guys that sees you and talks to you, the guy that you got to go and battle now.
I have to battle like one of my first friends. No. Yeah.
Well, that happens all the time in the beatbox world. Just like, you know, very that just in general. If you have a small enough market of people that are going to be at that contentious level, it's gonna be definitely meeting your friends in finals. Look how many times, as example, you know, Kenny and Napalm have battled each other. Or you can go down a list of different people that are on the same tag team. We just watched Pono versus BizKid multiple times have battled each other when it comes to online battles and battles in person. Seemingly, no matter what, I don't know why this happens in championships, but like for some reason the top 16 bracket gets laid out, and people that are on the same team or the same country they just battle each other just the way the rankings work out. It's the darndest thing. Yeah. And MH wants to know, are you scared? Are you scared to battle him?
Oh, I am. You know what? No matter what you throw at me, I'll just keep on singing.
Very respectful and nicely shots fired. So yeah, again, you go to online world champs, you take home a 4th place, you win obviously a wild card for that. You take a 3rd place in the blip challenge with your KK cruising that went down. You win when it comes to Brez's remix challenge, where you had Haters Love Me rather. And then GBB wildcard, you hit the 9th place spot, and that's out of countless wild cards. So from 2018 to 2021, you're just doing this, and I can honestly say it's the fresh sound. I love the way that you put your stuff together. You can see your musical influence and knowledge coming through your stuff, and you're well put together. Your breakdowns on YouTube as well, very interesting to watch, to see how the details that come out of it in your mind, and see the way that your process to go and build your pieces. Very, very thorough. And you know, now you also win the 5v5, beating Saijo in the final of that with Team USA, for all you out there representing well for Canada. USA. Oh heck, eh? But so now you're in kickback, and you're one of the 12 people with the prototype of the Mark II there when it comes to the RC 505. So you've had a thus far career that has been started off on the right note for sure. Outside of the online scene, and I see that again you did a local talent show in that one video. Has there been opportunities for you to perform outside of the internet world, outside of the beatbox world specifically? Do you do showcases in your hometown? You say that you've done stuff at I don't know, beatbox wise, but you still perform singing wise, maybe piano if your church asks you to. But do you have the opportunity to go and perform beatboxing to live events rather currently, and have you?
Yeah, I actually have been able to showcase my Loopstation at my church, and it is like an older congregation, but you know, like they still enjoy it, I guess. But other than that, I guess maybe I just haven't really sought out to perform like at local events or whatever. I mean, I would love to. I think live settings are more of like what I'm comfortable with, like as opposed to like online. So definitely I would love to do like local showcases. But yeah, like as of recently, I guess I haven't really tried to find opportunities. just busy with other stuff, I guess.
That is totally fair, and for a lot of it too, there has been restrictions on live events and all these things which don't make it compatible with being able to perform to a live audience. And um, let's say in your church setting, and you said they were receptive to it, even though they were an older congregation. I performed at a few churches myself, and I can understand how some people might not understand it, or as long as you're doing a good job of it, they'll smile and kind of nod along, even if they no, not really their taste. And then some people really enjoy it. But what was the overall feeling in the crowd? And do you think that they enjoyed it? Did people come up to you asking, the obvious, like, how did you do that? Where did you learn how to do that? Get the backstory and have that reaction when performing it?
Yeah, because I think like specifically with those performances, I did more of like a vocal style, like not a lot of like electronic effects, kind of like just like what I did with Fly Me to the Moon, just like just harmonies and stuff. But yeah, like they do love it. Like people, they would have come up to me afterwards and be like, "Oh, that was really good. Like I've never seen uh someone do that before. I love how you're layering everything to create like this whole song." And yeah, but I think they love it from what I've gotten.
I like it. And could you tell me too, when asked a question that is often asked to most beatboxers, how do you describe what you do to somebody that has no idea?
Oh, I huh. I guess I would just say it is. I make like beats with. I would use like the terminology like I make beats just using my voice. Like yeah, something like that.
Okay, all right. Something that I guess I'm putting you on the spot with, and don't mean to go and give you a difficult question here, but it's a question that often people ask, and if you don't have, most times you can kind of just be like, "Oh, what do I do?" and you do a little beatbox, and they're like, "Oh, okay, I get it," kind of, and you describe it after the fact. But for some people, if you're just like, in a very quiet place or something, and if someone asks you in a
Yeah,
library what you do, it's a little harder to go and give like a very short, quiet beatbox without annoying somebody.
sure.
Um, Now, when it comes to performing and when stuff either opens up or you get more opportunities, where would you see yourself performing in the future and just in general? Because again, you're still very early on to this career. You're very early on to what I would really think and do think is going to be very fruitful and being able to go and have a lot of success. So, what are goals that you have or things that you'd like to accomplish? Let's just call it in the next couple of years when it comes to live performing and just in general. What are you looking to achieve when it comes to beatboxing?
Yeah, I think for me, I really would love just to like get my music, my specific sound out there, like showing people that uh they're, I guess like with like what I do, like jazz chords and groove and whatnot. I would love to like show people that that is a thing that can be done on the loop station. Uh with like live events, like I said, I would love to maybe just do some small shows, whether it be like open mics or like actual gigs at like a restaurant somewhere. I actually have no idea about how that scene works, if I'm being honest, but basically just maybe keep it local. Like I would love, I think it would be cool to like perform on like a huge stage uh in front of like millions of people, but I guess that's not really what I'm pursuing right now. I think just like keeping it small for now would be fulfilling for me.
Very, very true and honest. Would you say that do you consider yourself a looper or a beatboxer if you had to describe yourself as one or the other when
Mm.
asked directly?
Uh, hmm. I guess between the two, I identify more as a looper just because like I don't like I actually like I don't know how to lip roll. My throat bass isn't really the best. Like I don't really know more of these actual like beatbox sounds, but like in what I lack there, I do have knowledge on like different sounds on the loop station, like how to use it. So I feel like I do identify more with the looping aspect.
And so another question that I often bring up when they talking to somebody who is excelling the loop station, and there's very little of them out doing solo beat. Like the only real solo stuff I saw from you was when you said, I don't need an intro for when you were doing your thing, and you just did like a little
Yeah.
little tiny beatbox at the beginning of it. I was like, that was good. Like I wanted to hear more. But do you keep up on the solo act, like outside of loop station? Do you do a lot of solo practice? Are you still like, actively pursuing the idea of advancing yourself as a solo beatboxer, uh, just with a microphone or off microphone?
I guess right now I personally don't put as much effort into the solo aspect. Just because like with looping, just the way the scene is going now, it is more on like effects and like how you manipulate that. Uh, I do try to like maintain my like just the basic drum kit sounds. Like I think that is at least for me like that's probably more important to me than learning like the more advanced sounds. Like as long as I have like a good drum kit, I think I'm set. I
Yeah,
think
that's
I
no.
don't know.
Oh, no, no, and that's something that I'm noticing more and more. When I had Christoph on the show here, he was saying that he was a uh, multi talented when it came to musical things, like being able to play different instruments and working with bands and stuff. And when he found looping, he was really into uh, just the idea of the loop station and being able to take it and translate what he did with his instruments and stuff by using his voice and translating onto the machine itself. And it's like super interesting for me to go and hear people that just know the technology, really hone in on the technology, and have good harmonies, but a good musical idea, and being able to go and do that and just pursue it more and more. And it's like shocking to me, though, shocking to go and see how quickly some people can pick up the technology, and others just it's lost in translation, and they might not be able to go and do it. So it's wild, definitely wild for me to go and watch people that just like can go and take a piece of a technology, understand it, and have the musical knowledge as well to go and get that to go and bring something beautiful out of this thing. And
Yeah,
man,
definitely.
something that I'm looking forward to going and seeing. And do you think that loop station wise, as an example, one of the first times they had it at, or one the first time that they had it at Grand Beatbox Battle, there was like a huge thing about no effects, and you're not allowed to use effects on the loop station, and it was very much frowned upon when it was anybody back in the day when doing that. And you see people
Right.
like MB14, and as an example, not using any effects for a lot of the loops they do, maybe like a hair of reverb, but like very, very just plain. Do you see that, in your opinion, in the scene? Do you think it's going to continue trending towards more effects, or do you feel like people that are going to be able to go and not use it as many effects can create something that would be able to be on par with somebody with second devices added in, different effects put in? In your opinion, where do you see the scene going loop wise?
I do think uh with like second devices and the Mark II and like the more electronic sounds that they can provide, I do think the loop scene is going more toward that route, like uh the electronic sound. Having said that, I actually saw a comment the other day on one of Swiss's videos that said something like uh as that continues to happen with like the electronic sound, the people that are more focused on like the vocal aspect of looping, like Robin, uh, I guess myself in a way, uh, they will basically stand out from the other people who are just doing electronic, and basically the vocal people, would be more, or like they have a higher, what's the word? People would like see them in like a different light. Like they would have like the recognition for just being vocal, and like that could be a very good counter to like pure electronic. At least that's the way I see it.
Yeah, it's interesting to see how two things are going to go, not separate, because forever it'll be looping as the base, but the idea of maybe somebody who doesn't even, they know the machine, they know that going something as simple as like a put through X many effects can make it into your first note, and then you can go on bass. Like, again, my knowledge of a loop station is very minimal, and I have one sitting right here, but when I look at it, the amount of techniques and technical aspects of it, I don't know, and I haven't put myself into that, not needing to, but I just haven't pursued it. I haven't spent the time and the hours and hours of learning the machine and understanding how the machine works. But somebody can take a sound as simple as, and be able to go and change that into a full bass line that they can control with the knob of being able to put I've seen people do something along these lines, just as an example, and maybe I'm just saying nonsense right now, but it's like, it's just interesting for me to go and see how someone can go and take that with a simple noise, but be able to make such a beautiful piece of music because they figured out how to go and do that technically. And when it comes to judging, because I've seen you judge battles as well, do you think it's what do you judge, in your opinion, if you see somebody who is better technically with the loop station itself, or somebody who is a better beatboxer, quote unquote, when they make a different piece? Because that's one major clash thing that comes up in battles of how do you judge that? And I know there's systems in place, but somebody who's better technically with the loop station, and then somebody who might not be as technically versed in the loop station itself, but is a quote unquote better beatboxer, when matched up, and let's say somehow relatively on par, the end product, relatively on par, and personal taste wise, you relatively equally, how do you judge that battle?
That's a very good question. I guess personally, like in the battles I've judged recently, I look for, well one, I do look for musicality and structure, like the way you incorporate uh elements to create a song, I guess. Um as far as like technicality on the machine versus, like you said, maybe you're more, or like less inclined on the machine but more on actual beatboxing. um when it comes down to it, I guess it, hmm, yeah, that makes me think, actually. It's I guess in each battle specifically, I do see it as like, I do believe in like the battle aspect. So like if you are uh let's say, how should I word this? If you can do something that's like more com like in more complex, I guess, in the context of just the two battlers. If you can do something that's more complex, more intricate than the other person, uh, and maybe you're a bit musical as well, then you get my vote. I know I probably explained that like very badly. I am still trying to like think about how to like word
Oh,
that.
I did.
Um,
I don't believe I asked you an easy question at all. It's an opinion, and it's something that I just wanted your honest opinion. And again, no, you don't need to go and try to excuse yourself for not having the exact words that you want to. And maybe it's something you think about and get back to me at some point. Oh man, it's just interesting to see the way that of it's the same thing can be said about solo beatboxing outside of the loop station. Do you How do you rate somebody when the general thing of technicality versus musicality, and this person, and well, is technicality necessary technicality? Can it be considered musicality? how do you go and judge it? It's just such an interesting question overall of how to do these things and moving forward. How is it going to be done? Because at the end of the day, if you put Michael Jackson on a stage and Bob Marley on a stage, both rest in peace, but if you put them on the stage and had to go and say who was better, that's very subjective.
Right.
It should be. So I think we're eventually going to get to a level where it's going to be very hard to judge battles in a very concrete way. You know, it's going to grow to that.
I do agree with that. Yeah.
How do you do that? And that's something that moving forward, we got to go and figure this out. So anyways, Colin Effect says now he knows how to get this man's vote. So
there you go.
When it comes to going in competitions, live competitions comes back. What's on your hit list, man? What's on your hit list? You going to this US champs? You going to what are you trying to get into? Obviously, GBB is something that you tried to get into. We were just on that cusp. Are you coming to GBB? Because you just let me know, man. What's on your hit list to go and do with it live, bro?
Yeah, definitely. I do. If whenever American Champs happens again, you'll see me there. I definitely do want to compete there. GBB, I like that. That is definitely something I'd love to do. Just, you know, it being the biggest stage, biggest event, and all. I'm not going this year just because I do have other stuff planned, but in the future, definitely I would love to even just visit as a spectator. I think that would be fun.
I recommend it for everybody. If anybody's out there, I'm pretty sure there's still a few tickets left, and there might be one more run of tickets depending on stuff goes. So make sure that you go and check out Grand Beatbox Battle on Instagram and check the link. Go get yourself a ticket. If you can make it to Poland, we'll see you there. Yes. And Colin Effects follows up with a second way to get Josh's vote. Play Club Penguin song and you win.
I think he's referencing one of the tracks I did in the online worlds was from Club Penguin, which is like online game. If no one knows what that is, but yeah.
I don't play too many online games, so I'm unsure. But I like the way it sounds. Before we go and get into another couple of things, I wanted to go and ask you, outside of beatboxing, I know that you say that you're doing stuff outside of beatboxing, which most people do, but could you tell me stuff that interests you outside of beatboxing? Are you currently, if you feel comfortable talking about it, do you go to school, work? What do you currently do? If you again, only if you feel comfortable talking about it, man.
Yeah, so outside of beatboxing, outside of music, I do have an interest in like computers, technology. I do love coding from time to time, and I do aspire to like enter the IT field and maybe work my way up the ranks there.
Currently in school for this, or?
Yes, I am studying for information technology.
Right on. I know a few people. Shout out to Heat. I know a few people that also do quite well in these scenes. And do you think that that's helped you, having that knowledge and having in the technology field? Do you feel like that's helped also, along with your musical training, translate on to being able to understand how a machine works and how it would process a sound through a chain? Is that a big stretch?
Yeah, maybe not necessarily I guess if I'm being honest, maybe not. There's not really a lot that's like that crosses over between like Loopstation and like actual computers. I guess maybe as far as like parameters, because parameters have numbers. There you go, something applicable.
I'm going for it.
Yeah.
I'm dulciming it from Street Fighter. I'm trying. And so you're hopefully see yourself currently. Things change, life changes. You're a young man. You see yourself trying to get into the IT world. And what other things interest you? Are there online? You said Penguin. Are there video games online that you enjoy to play? Is there a sport that you enjoy to play? do you pursue, I don't know, yodeling, let's say?
Yeah, I do play video games from time to time. I guess like the big ones I play right now are Overwatch and Minecraft. If anyone wants to, start a party or a group, hit me up. We can go win together. I don't know.
All right, all right. I like it. Um, yeah, man. I'm looking forward to seeing what you have when it comes to this battle with MH. Ooh, almost said KBA. My bad.
Oh,
No, I'm gonna do that. No slipping.
maybe in the future, maybe as the battle goes on.
Ooh, he ain't scared. He ain't scared. MH is coming for you. He's gonna get you in this battle. We're gonna see what happens. Jeez. My camera died again, as per usual. We're gonna bring that back. I don't know what's going on with this technology that's failing. Let's try this again. Bring that back. I wanted to go and get before we jump into the next section, another just overall question, man. Talk about the Mark II. Talk about the Mark II. I know we had you on the live stream working when we had the seating rounds, and you talked about your experience with it somewhat. But overall, could you just give a rundown of, again, you've had more time to work with it now, things you really like about it, things that are new on it that you enjoy, and just the overall feeling. Similar question I asked you on the live stream itself, but just a little more leeway. Could you go and tell me overall what people can look forward to when getting the next version of the RC505, the Mark II?
Yeah, definitely. I think as of right now, like the one thing that I love about the Mark II, I guess, is just the improved sound quality. Because I played around with like my Mark I the other day, and I tried doing some of my old tracks. And after, practicing on the Mark II so long, and I listened to the quality of the Mark I, I'm just like, I looped on this. I entered competitions on this thing.
Jeez.
Because the Mark II is like, it actually is like really good. Like just such a crispy sound. What else do I like about it? I did mention this in the other live stream, just the amount of customization that you can do with like the buttons. Like you can pretty much assign any button to do anything pretty much. And I do like the banks and the 4 effects. That comes so much in handy when it comes to doing drops, I guess. Sorry, I'm kind of like thinking through this right now.
Oh, totally, man.
Yeah, that is those are some of the highlights I've noticed so far.
And it's, again, I to see to be able to put 4 input effects on something, I'm looking forward to, like, at some point in time, either holding one in my hands, having one of my own to go and play with. But even when you throw 3 effects on your voice with the Mark I, still an amazing device. The RC505 at the end of the day has been an amazing device. It's gone through things, and it's only natural it's going to progress and be the next step up. But like from 3 to 4, and then having all these, as you said, banks to be able to scroll through them, from some of the reviews I've seen and people I've talked to, just the expedited process of being able to go and get where you want to get with a machine, if you set it up beforehand correctly, seems like, I feel like the rounds, when this is the new standard, are just going to get crazier and crazier, as we've seen in the kickback already too. As we've seen in the kickback already too, with Frosty and Robin, it's bananas. So I think it's just going to expedite that process and allow for more creativity, even more so, But,
yeah, definitely.
We'll see what happens. We'll see what you bring for MH. Then I'm looking very much forward to that. With that being said, though, I want to get into another section of the show we call Rapid Fire. Rapid Fire. Are you ready?
I think I am. Here we go.
All right, so once again, we're going to go and play Rapid Fire Questions, episode 69, right here, Beyond the Beats, live and direct on Swissbeatbox. We are with the one, the only, Mr. Josh O. I'm going to ask you a series of rapid fire questions in rapid succession, and I don't want you to think too hard about it. I just want you to be able to go and give the first answer that comes to your mind. Once again, let's get this popping off. Ladies and gentlemen, rapid fire right here with Josh O. Rapid fire. First question. Who is your current favorite solo beatboxer?
Zero.
You say zero. All right.
Yes.
I'm just going to fix my camera one more time. Even more pressure. Rapid fire. You heard it. First answer was zero. Who is your current favorite tag team?
Dreamers. I saw a Dreamers video the other day. They're my favorite right now.
Current favorite crew, beatbox crew.
Darukani.
Current favorite loop station artist, other than yourself, obviously.
Oh no. Biscuit.
Current favorite sound.
The throat bass, solid.
Current favorite sound effect on the new loop station.
On the new loop station. Harmony, the harmony effect.
What is the sound you're working on the currently solo wise?
Double voice.
Okay. Who is your current favorite YouTuber outside of the beatbox world?
Oh, who do I watch on YouTube? I've been watching a lot of Swoozy, if you know who he is.
I don't, but I'll ask you immediately after this.
All right.
What is your current favorite game if you had to pick one to play?
Overwatch.
Current favorite. Oh, what is your current favorite food if you had to pick anything for dinner? Anything at all?
Ooh. Chicken Alfredo. Chicken fettuccine Alfredo.
Best restaurant in your area of Florida that you like going to if you had a choice?
Ooh. There's a place called BurgerFi. They sell burgers. They have like quality burgers. Really good.
I like it. If you had to pick a sport to watch, what sport would that be?
Football, I guess. My family watches a lot of football.
All right. Who's your team? What's the team?
I guess the Jacksonville Jaguars, Florida.
All right. I like it. And last but not least, what would be a meal that you would make for somebody if you had to make a meal? You brought a buddy over or somebody over for dinner. Who is it? What are you making them?
I'm making them a grilled cheese with Havarti cheese and tomato soup.
Okay.
Full dish.
Okay. And last question. Who's winning the Kickback Battle 2021 Loopstation Edition with the RC 505 Mark II?
If it's not me, Christoph?
Oh, ladies and gentlemen. We'll see right there. That was rapid fire with Josh O. With some good answers. But next up, we have questions from
my friend Papuni.
I leaked that a second ago, but
Papuni, my friend Papuni, my friend Papuni
has a few questions for you. First of all, he wants to know, he thinks you have a great style and a nice voice, so he sees that you have a lot of good situations when it comes to performing coming up for you. If you could pick one stage to perform on, what stage would that be outside of battling?
Ooh. I get, or is he talking about like just like a venue or
venue? Like, you could say any. It's how you interpret the question. If you want to say, I want to be on America's Got Talent. Like big shout outs, by the way. I saw Michael Winslow was on America's Got Talent. Big
yeah.
That man, what a legend! Absolute nothing but love and respect from.
Definitely.
Sorry. Again, take that question the way you will. If you want, you can say TV show you'd like to perform on, a stage, you name it.
I guess I wouldn't mind the GBB stage. I think that would be a big accomplishment. Or wait, you said outside of
Yeah, if you had
Oh,
to choose
okay,
one
okay.
outside,
Yeah.
outside of
Right. Okay. I wouldn't mind having like a viral video, maybe. Like having some kind of like loop, or like I guess stage being like online as opposed to, I don't know where I was going with this, to be honest.
So a viral,
Yeah.
some sort of viral video.
Something like that. I
Okay.
think that would be fun.
Okay. Another question from, sorry, I'm just getting one right now.
My friend Papuni.
My friend Papuni
Wants to know, oh, there we go. What loop station artist, what other looper would you love to make a song with, could produce a song with? If you had, I'll give you a top three, because I know everyone says, oh, it's hard to pick one. So if you had top three, who would you like to go and produce a song with?
Ooh, all right. Sam Perry. Sam Perry's one of them. I love what he does.
Sam Perry's super crazy.
I wouldn't mind MB14, I guess. I love what he does too. Great
Okay.
vocal style. And one more. Oh man.
No pressure.
No pressure. I cannot think of a third one right now. I don't know. I guess anyone that any like looper that loves harmonies and singing, it's right up my alley.
All right. Fair enough. Another question from
my friend Papuni.
My friend Papuni.
asked, if it was not a beatboxer, what's an artist you'd like to work with? What's an artist outside of the beatbox world you'd love to do something with?
Anomaly. If you know who he is, he's like a producer, and he's actually like one of my biggest inspirations. He does like he incorporates like jazz, funk, and all these things into like these really great songs. I would love to work with him.
All right. I'll have to look that up.
My friend Papuni.
Wants to know if you think, he asks you, does beatboxing make you a better person? How does it help you out in your life? And what do you enjoy most about being a beatboxer? 3-part question. Does it make you a better person? How does it help you out in your life? And what was the last question I asked you? What do you enjoy most about it?
I do think that beatboxing gives you something to talk about with people, or I guess, yeah, with beatboxing. Like, it is something that is unique, like something that a lot of people don't really experience daily. So it's something cool you can talk about. And I guess that would bleed into the other question. Or let's see. Does it make you a better person? It helps with breath control. So if you're like jogging or something, I don't know. And the last question. What was the last question again?
The last question was, what do you enjoy most about being a beatboxer?
I do like being able to express like my musical ideas just like pretty much instantaneously. Like, I don't need an instrument. I just do it. Just or whatever.
That's a good answer. Let's go with one more question from my friend Paponi. He wants to know, let me see here.
My friend Papuni.
My friend Papuni.
Wants to know, Do you have? Oh, okay. Do you have any techniques or advice you can give for people when they beatbox that get dry mouth? And have you ever had a dry mouth when you've tried to beatbox and or loop?
Yes. To answer that second part of the question, absolutely. Dry mouth is a very real thing. You do not want that to happen before your performance. Um, I guess one thing I have learned, I guess like in general, you want to like be hydrated so that when the time comes that you're performing, you don't experience that. I guess that's something I've picked up on.
Hey, drink water. Drink water is
Yeah, just drink water. That's the advice.
All right, those were questions from
My friend Papuni.
My friend Papuni.
absolutely killing it. Everyone's fan.
My friend Papuni.
And last but not least, and we have another little thing after this, but questions that have come in, and I saw a question that came in live from our audience. Ish. We have a question right here from Colin Effects. Who would be your dream tag team loop station partner?
Ooh, that's a very good question. I'm gonna say either Biscuit or Enhance. I love what they do. I don't know if that sounds too much of a default answer, but I genuinely would love to work with them.
No. That would be a serious tag team. Another question, Ish, from our audience. Someone asked you who is your closest friend / group of friends currently in the beatbox community. Basically, let's go and make this less pressure, and unless you have a good answer right off the top of your head, of just a couple shout outs to people that are your friends in the community right now.
Yeah, definitely. Shout out to the people I talk to a lot. Biscuit, KBA, PSN, MH, Bonzo, Yasweed. Who else is in the group chat I'm in? Yeah, because there's a chat I'm in with all these people that like I'm really good friends with, and they've inspired me so much. And I forgot their names. Dom Tapper, Galoosh, Enhance, Rhyme's a big one. Who else is there? I'm sorry if I didn't mention you, but just know I appreciate you on the inside.
Nothing but love. Another question, Ish, for our audience here. Another question came in from Mr. Esuo, Esuo, S-O, E-S-U-O-H. Esuo.
Esuo?
Esuo. If I'm pronouncing that wrong, put it in the thing there, bud. Wants to know, would you ever host singing lessons with your angelic voice?
Oh, first of all, thank you. I'm flattered. Personally, I don't feel like I'm qualified to teach anything like that. Like, I sing. I personally think I'm a much better vocal percussionist than a singer, as far as being the best at either one of them. But I mean, hey, if I charge by the hour, if you're still willing, hey, just let me know.
So hit him up if you want to go and have some angelic voice giving you a lesson here. Let's go with another question from, and he said we got it right. Someone won Dezagob. D said something or other. Agub. Question was, and again, you don't have to answer this, but do you have another job outside of beatboxing? So do you have a job currently? I know you said you're in school, which sometimes make it difficult to have a job, but currently do you work somewhere else?
Currently I am studying full time, so that's like my main focus. I did work at a Panda Express not too long ago, so I had some fast food experience there.
Hey, I recommend everybody in their lifetime to go and work in the food industry, serving.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Wash some dishes, and Make sure you keep yourself humble out there, people. Another question that came in ish from our audience. Someone wants to know. Question from Ilya. Shouts to Ilya though. Big shouts for him. Always run the stream, but he wants to know, what is a brand that you would like to work with? Is there a brand out there? Take that as you will. Whether it be clothing brand, food brand, you name it. What's a brand you'd like to work with?
That's a good question. I don't have any like specific brand in mind. Like I don't really have any favorite brand I'd love to work with. But I mean, if a brand approaches me and I like what they do, then hey, I'll totally do it.
Okay, all right. Let's go with another question from the audience. Someone asked, because you've already had a Beatbox International shout out, but are we going to see another after the kickback? A shout out for Swissbeatbox or Beatbox International? Will you be doing another shout out anytime soon?
Ooh, maybe. I don't know if I should reveal anything. There may be something in the works. That's all I'll say. Yeah.
All right. Read into that as much as possible, people. I really want you to think about that answer. Let's go with one more question ish from our audience here. Question comes in from we kind of went through this, but I'll make this I'll ask their question and add to it. Davies Sotanto. Davis Sotanto says, how did you find your quote-unquote style of music in looping? And I think we've kind of answered that, because you said during the time musically trained, but you found through your Spotify listening to jazz and finding those chords. But I'm going to read into that and ask you more of, how does one find their style? How would you advise people to go and find their own style, which is at the epitome of importance when it comes to anything beatbox related?
Definitely.
How do you recommend people to find their own style?
I would say find the music that you love. Or maybe this is a really cliche answer, but just find the music that you love, that you listen to a lot. As far as like style specifically on the loop station, I always tell people, try to find out how your favorite music was produced, like how they came to the sound, like what compression they used, any effects, and basically try to replicate that on the loop station. And from there, you can use those techniques to flesh out your style. And as a personal example, like the thing I do with like the faders with like the chords, that's an effect that I find a lot in music that I listen to, just like quick synths. So like I try to incorporate that. Like I try to figure out, how can I do this? I tried like the slow gear effect. I mentioned this like in one of my videos.
Yep.
And eventually I found out, oh, you could use the faders just to get that quick sound. I was basically like thinking through like the process like that is something that will eventually flesh out into a style, I guess.
Very well answered. And let's go with last question. Let me see here. Davis Sotanto says he thanks because he says it's 3 a.m. here in Australia and he's still watching, so big shout outs. Said he appreciates me reading into that question. All right, let's go with one last question from Christian Gregorio. Christian Gregorio wants to know, are you planning on more colorful wall backgrounds? Just wondering.
Oh. Yes, because I do have, like, I actually invested in like a colored bulb that can, change colors for that very purpose, for different backgrounds, just so like each of my performances has like a different aesthetic to it. Like maybe you'll remember the routine by the color. Just look forward to red background Josho, where I will do hard style 200 beats per minute. Look for
Okay. I like it. Hard style. Red background, my man. Those are questions, though, from our audience. Thank you for everybody for putting in your questions. I see again that people, D-Fish is representing for India. Our man was there representing for Australia. So there's a bunch of people that are watching from around the world, all taking interest. I really do appreciate you guys tuning in to Beyond the Beats. Leave a thumbs up and all that good stuff. But before we jump out of here, man, is there anything else that you want to talk about that we haven't talked about? Anything you want to say before we jump off? Anything in general that you want to go and do?
Not at the top of my head. I think like what you asked me was actually pretty spot on what I wanted to talk about today. Yeah, that's, I don't know.
Well, man, smile's worth $1 million. You keep smiling, man, and I'm looking forward to hearing your stuff. But that being said, ladies and gentlemen, right here, once again, this was episode 69, Beyond the Beats. It's your boy, Scott Jackson. We had the wonderful Josho on today, and make sure that you go and check out his YouTube page, subscribe to that. He's been putting up rounds, wild cards, as well as ways of explaining it and breaking down how he came to these ideas. So make sure you go and check it out. Great YouTube channel, as well as on Instagram. Go hit up his Instagram. You might remember someday in September, some things these come out, and Christmas little special jingles that he puts out as well. So make sure that you go and check out his Instagram and follow him up as well. As be ready, because that Kickback Battle 2021 Loopstation Edition with that exclusive prototype of the RC505 Mark II coming directly at you. We got my man right here, Josho versus MH, coming up in the round for the first quarterfinal. The quarterfinal round, and we're gonna see who wins that. So, ladies and gentlemen, once again, follow him up, check him out follow him up. Sometimes with those tongue-tied happening, but follow him up. Social medias, YouTube, Instagram. Go and check out all the things that are happening in the kickback. More rounds coming. Subscribe to Swissbeatbox. Give this a thumbs up. Spread this video around. And keep tuned in. And at the end of the day, Josho, I'm very much looking forward to where your career takes you. Thank you for pushing the scene. Thank you for sharing with us your beautiful music. And I think you have a long and fruitful career ahead of you, my friend. And thank you for being on the show here. Thank you for joining me today and spending some time with your boy, Scott Jackson.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you.
Been a pleasure. And at the end of the day, ladies and gentlemen, I say it every time, but call your friends and family. Tell them you love them. Do that as much as possible. And keep that beatbox/looping sword sharp, because you never know when you're going to get an opportunity to be in a battle. So, or a presentation, or a chance to go and perform and spread some love and love out there in the world. So keep it up. Aside from that, Scott Jackson saying thank you very much one more time. We'll see you tomorrow. I got PSN on. So we're going to get this continuing to go. But ladies and gentlemen, enjoy the rest of your Saturday, wherever you are in the world. Scott Jackson signing out. Big shouts to Fortis. Keeps me on time when I say time.